So now talking about what is the appropriate measure when a researcher wishes to know the burden of a particular disease in terms of the number of deaths it causes in a specified geographical region and population. The answer is disease specific mortality. If you can just recollect a brief revision, the measure which reflects the impact of a disease on population in terms of death. Burden or impact is one and the same thing, just a very minor difference of disease specific mortality. Burden or impact of a disease specific mortality. Then if health policy makers want to evaluate the impact of a prevention program, which is the appropriate measure to be considered? Incidence. Without you can just close your eyes, but if you close it, how will you mark it? Then incidence, that is the number of new cases. That is the most appropriate measure. The correct statement, prevalence of a disease will increase when it has a low cure rate. Yes, it will. True. If it has a high cure rate, yes, it will decrease. Prevalence of disease will decrease when a low case fatality ratio. So case fatality ratio, I just told you about case fatality is the number of deaths upon the number of diseased cases. It can reflect the severity of a disease, case fatality ratio. Okay. Prevalence of a disease will increase when it is acute in nature. No. Incidence will increase if it is acute in nature. Prevalence will increase if it is chronic in nature. Then what is the appropriate epidemiologic measure to determine the severity of an acute disease? Case fatality ratio, yes. As I told you, severity. Severity case fatality ratio is equal to number of deaths upon number of diseased cases. It reflects the severity. Severity case fatality ratio. Cumulative incidence is otherwise known as attack rate. Yes, right? True. Absolutely true. 110% true. Cumulative incidence. I'll just be telling you about cumulative. It is a type of incidence only used during outbreaks. Attack rate or cumulative incidence is a type of incidence used during outbreak showing the population of people who become ill. Please mind you, who become ill after explosion, but it is not at all related to death. It is not at all related to death. Attack rate can also be known as cumulative incidence. Cumulative incidence. Okay, attack rate or cumulative incidence, a type of incidence used during outbreaks. Fine. Then moving ahead, the healthcare, it reflects the severity. The healthcare professionals working in an intensive care unit ICU were asked whether there has been an increase in the number of new pneumonia cases. Which of the following factor is inappropriate in the calculation of cumulative incidence? Pre-existing cases of pneumonia. First of all, you need to understand what is cumulative incidence. So I'll just be telling you what is cumulative incidence. So cumulative incidence, attack rate or cumulative incidence is a type of incidence used during outbreaks. Okay, that is cumulative incidence. So that you need to know. After that, moving on, when measuring the frequency for an acute infectious disease in a community in terms of incidence per 1,000 persons per year, point prevalence per 1,000, how will the pattern of incidence prevalence be? Low prevalence and high incidence. I'll be telling you about this in detail in a short while. Okay, bye.